All right, so this is the Montreal-Hamilton game.
Oh.
So this was the third time we've seen this season.
2nd and 20. Let's set this up, Roland.
Yes.
It's 2nd and 20.
Second and 20. Second and 20. They do a short pass to number 17 behind the line of scrimmage. He punts the ball over the line of scrimmage and then recovers it because he's onside. Yeah, the blue line might not be accurate, but so
that's twice Montreal's pulled that off.
Yeah, twice Montreal's pulled that off. The first time we saw it, I think it wasn't it? Who was it? It was
Antwi, who they're running back,
BC,
number 20.
So they did it successfully a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They tried again against BC a while ago, and we're like, "What?
Yeah.
Did he like fumble or what are they doing?" Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
So this is the third time they did, and the last 2 times have been successful.
Yeah. So
because the first time we saw it was Ottawa, because I forgot they did it against us when they came here.
Yeah. So
was it Ottawa? Yeah. I knew it was Ottawa.
So this play's blowing up on Twitter. We've got 2 camps. Some people say, great play. Other people say, hate it, right? So I'm gonna get your opinion on that first, and then also, okay. Let's go with that first. So thoughts. Let's go with Greg first. What do you think of this unique CFL quirk, where you can punt the ball? And as long as you punt it over the line of scrimmage, it's a loss of possession. So then
because you handed it over.
Yeah. So anyone can recover, and then he recovers because he's onside. The punter is always onside.
Well, I'm gonna have to be a Canadian politician here and sit right on the fence. I love me the CFL. The CFL is always going to hold the majority of my heart, because it's our game. We took the game, showed it to the US, in my opinion. They blew it up with their marketing. But I love the CFL game. I love its quirks. I love that it's harder to get 3 downs, get 10 yards. I mean, I love all of it. But there are certain quirks that, I'm not too fond of. Like, okay, missing a field goal and you get a point. Where on earth do you get rewarded for missing other than the CFL? Now,
let's talk about that one for a different episode, because that's
but I'm just saying the quirks.
Okay.
This quirk to me this one can go out, throw the baby out with the bathwater. This quirk, I'm not for it. I'm not for it at all. I'm all for the game and its quirks, but not this one. So I'm taking, I don't know if you want to call it fence sitting. Get rid of this onside punt thing. Yes, it's uniquely Canadian, but it doesn't build up the uniqueness in a positive light. So I'm not in the onside punt camp for the offense. Sorry.
All right. Okay, great. Thanks, Greg. Let's go with...
Was that a politician sitting on the fence answer? I'm thinking you want it gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I supported the CFL.
He said it in a very
quirks, but no,
way.
not that one. Not that one.
Okay, all right. So I know.
All right. So next we go with Arthur. Arthur's probably not going to be diplomatic about it. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to be diplomatic. It's a Mickey Mouse. It's just Mickey Mouse. Makes the league look bad. 2nd and 20. 2nd and 20. Okay, I understand, right? Yeah, it's onside kick. You kick it behind the line of scrimmage and whatnot, but it's 2nd and 20. You should make 20 yards for that first down. You should make 20 yards for that first down. What happens if it's 2nd and 50?
I kick it an inch and a half.
You're going to kick it an inch and then you're going to get a first down? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. People are going to think this league is Mickey Mouse. Because they're like, what the heck? To me, it's like, be a man and get 20 yards to make that first down. And if you're going to stick that out, everyone can do it. Yeah, everyone can do it. Why not? But football is about earning yards. And if you want to cheap out and play a little watch what I say. A little game on the side just to catch you off guard. It's a man's game. It's a bunch of bullies out there. And you play this little twiddlywinks game on the side. Oh, I'm going to punt it six inches, and I go, it's good play. I'm like, hey, man, be a man. If you're that good, get 20 yards on us. Right? If you're that good, get 20 yards on us. If you're that good, you know what? You take a penalty, fine. Right? Obviously, it was like a holding penalty, and that's why they're 2nd and 20. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is absolutely ridiculous. Any NFL fan that I know will look at it and think this is just trash.
No. You don't have to say NFL fan. You can say any football fan. Purely
Any football fan.
Yes.
And to me, I think it's got to go. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Against the fabric of what football is.
All right.
You talk about being a man, Arthur. Can I throw this in real quick? There's a YouTube video circulating around. It's gone viral. It's a trick play. They line up for a punt. It's 3rd and God knows what. 2 guys right behind the center. And the ball comes, and the center is like miles behind the line screen. So it comes back to him, and then he pretends to snap to those guys. Everybody goes downfield. It's basically a fumbleina play, and he takes off and he scores a touchdown. But that's manly. It's a trick play, but it's not a Mickey Mouse 6-inch onside. They said we're going to run this trick play, and they executed it to a T. So that's more manly than the 6-inch one.
They were running
what
for
happened?
the first down. They ran for the first down.
I didn't
right?
catch what happened. The center fumbled the ball?
Well, they call it a fumbleina. Like the center kind of snaps it, but lets it sit there. And then he sits there. When everybody goes, he picks up the ball and he runs with it. And it was in plain sight. But
he fake snaps it. He fake snaps it. The football stays on the ground.
Okay, but it has to move though, right? The football has to move. You can't just not move it. Otherwise, it's not snapped, right?
No, I think he moves it and it touches the hands of the guy receiving the snap, and then he fumbles it and it sits there and the center just stays over it.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe we can key that up next podcast. But yeah, that's a good play.
All right.
But no, I agree with Arthur 100%. That there are certain quirks that do not build this game in a positive light. That is one of them.
All right. Okay, good. I got your thoughts.
Where's Roland's camp? I'm curious.
So yeah, let me answer that. So I hear you guys. I want to answer this at a different level. So let me start big picture. The CFL is not the NFL. So comparing the NFL to the CFL all the time doesn't make any sense. It is a different game. The kicking game in the CFL is completely different, and I think it's what makes the game more exciting than the NFL. Okay, so we've got a lot more different kicking options, a lot more different ways to score on kicks. And it's all part of the strategy. It's all part of understanding the game. Now, someone who's an NFL fan may not understand it, and so they may say, "Oh, this is weird," or even say, "This is Mickey Mouse." But let's hold that thought. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple more plays, and then I'll come back and give you my opinion. All right. So here's another play earlier in the year. The idea of an onside punt is not the main issue here. So let me show you this play. So this one here, actually it's not earlier this year, it's the previous season. So it was punted and then recovered by Ottawa. So it was
the punter recovered it.
Yeah, 3rd and 3. They lined up as if they were going to go for it.
The guy who's onside is going to recover it.
Yeah. So he kicks the ball here, and when he kicks
that guy there.
He kicks the ball. This guy here is still onside.
Yep.
And he basically runs all the way down. Saskatchewan, maybe not familiar with the rules, or the player this player not realizing that there was an onside guy, takes his time, thinking, okay, I'm just gonna, take my time, and the Ottawa guy recovers the ball for a touchdown. So that's a good play within the rules, within the bounds of this is part of our kicking game as the Canadian football. Okay, so that's one play. Let me show you another play. So this is Calgary and Toronto. So Calgary snaps the ball. The quarterback passes downfield to a receiver. The receiver takes a few steps, then punts the ball.
Quick kick.
So again, this is a unique aspect of the Canadian game. This is what makes our game so exciting. You can punt the ball. You can punt the ball from anywhere in the field. And notice when he punted the ball, this guy's onside and this guy's onside. All right. So, and actually, there's another guy who's onside who's off screen right now. And actually, that's the guy who's comes screaming down here, number 16. He's trying to get to the ball. He was onside as well. But unfortunately, Toronto number 24 gets to the ball beforehand, and it doesn't work. But again, that's exciting, right? That's part of the game. Okay, I'll show you one more play.
If that had worked, that play has to stay because it's against Toronto.
All right, so one more. This one is actually BC against Hamilton a few years back.
Is that VA trying to punt? Oh, no, it's Hamilton guy. Okay.
So Hamilton punts. We recover the ball and we punt it. So the punt return guy punts the ball, and when he punts it, there's two guys onside, him and him. Okay. And then he motors it down. Look at him go across. He motors it down. The ball bounces in the air, and he catches it on the bounce. And that's legal. Unfortunately, he doesn't make it. Oh, he's about to be tackled. He laterals to another guy, but unfortunately, they don't make it to the end zone. But again, this is part of the excitement of the Canadian game, right? Because you don't see that in the NFL, and I don't want to get rid of these rules. So people who blindly say, this Mickey Mouse, I think there's a bit more nuance here. So what Arthur is against is, it seems like instead of going for 20, you get 6 inches and you get a first down. You get so.
Arthur's saying it's cowardly cheap.
Yeah.
It is. Those other examples you had, Roland, they kicked it downfield. They didn't kick it 6 inches.
Yeah, that's right.
They kicked it downfield. I respect those plays.
Yes.
Those plays I'm okay with.
Yeah.
The 6-inch one, 2nd and 20, you got to get it over the first down marker.
Kick it over the first down marker. That's great. Have the outside.
Yeah, you want to kick it over the first down marker. And I'm good for that. But 6 yards is because it's over the line of scrimmage? Sorry.
Or so there's two ways.
Inches.
There's two ways I think we can address this. One, we keep the rules for when you punt, you lose possession, but in order to recover, it needs to go either past the original first down marker, or it needs to go 10 yards. So
the ball has to travel across where the first down would be, or else it's a loss of downs.
Or 10 yards. So I'm not sure yet which is better.
It's
so
wherever the first down marker is, the recovery has to happen beyond it.
It could be 10 yards too, right? Like if let's say it's 2nd and 20.
Well, it all depends what it is, right? If it's if it's 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 20, then you need 20 yards. You need to get to that first down.
Yeah, so that's one way to change the rule. Another way to change the rule is say we don't care where the original first down is, as long as it travels 10 yards from the current line of scrimmage, then you can recover. Because 10 yards, 10 yards by then, the defense should see the ball coming, and they have almost an equal or maybe even a better chance of recovering it.
I think you should be penalized if you're in a 2nd and 20. The defense has gained an advantage, and I think that should be respected. And you should have to earn, you shouldn't have to find a cheap way to get out of it. And we just can kick it 10 yards.
Well,
get 20 yards on the ground or in the air.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I want to address too. Is it cheap? The reason we think it's cheap is because nobody's covering it. If the defense knows that this is part of the game, then on a 2nd and 20, you're not going to give them 15 yards. You're not going to drop back 15 yards. If you know that this is a possibility, the defense has to cover it. So someone needs to be up against that receiver in case he tries to do this. You recover before he can even kick it.
Well, of course, you have to game plan against it.
Yeah. So,
but it's whether you should game plan it.
Yeah.
Against it at all.
That's
the issue.
So that's the other thing, right? So it seems cheap because nobody's covering it. Well, is that the fault of the defensive coordinators?
It's cheap because you don't need to get a first down to get a change of possession. You're not earning that first down. That's why it's cheap. It's not because no one's covering it. It's because they're not earning a first down.
Well, is that true? Because they're actually giving up possession of the ball. So if the defense were covering this play and they gave up possession of the ball, you're actually saying, I'm giving the defense a chance to now take possession. Right. So
it's a loophole. Giving up of possession for 6 inches.
It's a risk.
Sure. I mean, yeah, you could say
it's a risk reward, right? Risk reward.
I'm going to give up possession, drop it from this hand to this hand. Here, you got to get it in between here.
So risk reward, right? So they're taking a risk and saying, okay, I'm basically leaving the ball here. Anyone can take it. Well, it's not my fault that you're like 15 yards away. But now if the defense is scheming against this, then the defense will be right there. You try to give up the ball, fine, I'm going to take it. So. Well,
yeah, I mean, of course, the debate is, they have to game plan against it. Whether they should or not, that's the question. Right? I agree. I mean, your point is, it's cheap because they're not covering it. Well, we're not talking about whether, obviously, people aren't covering it because whether they don't know about it, they don't game plan against it.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
My point is whether I think it's cheap because just the premise of it is hokey. So whether they should have it in the first place, obviously, yeah. If you game plan against, they're going to have to because it's still a rule.
Yeah.
Of course, they have to game plan against it.
So you just want to get rid of the rule, right, Arthur?
I don't want to get rid of the rule. I think it's Mickey Mouse. It makes the league look bad.
So that's what we started. So there's 3 ways we can go about this, or two, and then the second one has different options. One is we keep the rule, but defense has to scheme against it. You cannot leave the guy open like that. So
that's status quo right now.
Well, the status quo right now is defenses are still ignoring it. So now that Montreal's done it 3 times this year, maybe defenses will no longer be ignoring it. I can guarantee you.
I don't think they have to at least coach it up, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be in everyone's back of their mind.
When Montreal plays Hamilton next week, I'm sure Hamilton is going to be covering that. So if defenses start covering this, then is it still a hokey play? That's one question.
Still hokey. Still hokey.
Second thing is, if we say, okay, this rule was not intended to be used this way, then the only way to amend the rule, because I want to keep our kicking rules. Our kicking game, I think, is one of the unique things and exciting things about the CFL. I don't want to get rid of the kicking game in the CFL. So there's 1 or 2 ways to amend the rule. One is the punt has to go over the original first down line, or it has to go 10 yards from the current line of scrimmage.
Like an onside kick, at least a minimum onside kick yardage.
Yeah, like there's a minute, just like when you do a kickoff, an onside kick.
Yeah.
For a kickoff.
Minimum 10 yards.
But a kickoff is always quote unquote first down, so it's always 10. It's like, anyways.
Yeah. So basically, if the rules, if we change the rule to that, then basically the defense needs to understand that they have to scheme against something, whether it's just across the line of scrimmage or whether it's 10 yards. But I think the fault here is not against Montreal introducing a cheap play. I think the fault here is that Hamilton doesn't scheme for it against this.
The fault is the CFL having this in the rule books and just should get rid of it. I mean, they can't do it mid-year.
Yeah.
They can't do it mid-year.
It's got to be voted on, right, by the board.
It's got to be voted on. It's got to be done in the off season, right?
Yeah.
You can't make a change like that. Mid-year. So they'll hopefully address it in the off season.
But I'd be interested to see, has anyone ever done this in previous years? Because that rule has always been there. It's not like the rule was introduced, right? This rule has always been there. So, kudos to Montreal for going through the rule book and figuring out, hey, we can do this if no one else has done it before. And if someone else has already done this before, then the CFL has already made a decision to keep this in the rule book, right?
Yeah, well,
So,
I'm sure there's enough discussion about it. If it's not, it has to be addressed in the off season. At least they have to have a discussion about it.
yeah.
Let's
Well,
see what
yeah.
happens.
They move the hash marks, they move the kickoffs, they move the extra point. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to change the rules, yeah.
Yeah. As long as I do not see kickoff sailing through the end zone to start a game and just automatically starting and some guy going fair again, as long as that doesn't come into our game, I'm good.